So, let's start with the beginning. We're going to talk about how to build a startup team, how to have a real team of doers to start with. And the first thing to start with is actually to understand what we're talking about and what is a startup. And it's really important to understand that what I'm going to talk to you about now will be different once you will be at scale, meaning like you will have found your business model and maybe the team will be different, okay? So it's really the starting team. It's the first 3, 5, 10, up to the moment you found your business model. So what's important in the definition of a startup is that it's temporary, okay? You're a temporary organization in search of a scalable, repeatable, and profitable business model. Temporary in search. Temporary, it means that you won't stay this way. So the people you have are not people who structure, they are people who start, they are people who launch. It's different types of profile. And in search, it means that you are looking for, you are like researcher, you are like pioneers, okay? So, this means, in terms of profile, the people you want to be surrounded by and the people that you are looking for when you start your startup, it's people who are really doing this for a reason. Not for the money. And this is really important, okay? So when you start, you have nothing but your dream, your vision. There is no honor to join you, okay? So anyone who wants to check a box on the curriculum vitae, you're not the good one for him or her. And that's good, actually, and that's easy, because when you start, you're only you, yourself, maybe your co-founders, and you try to convince anyone to join you in the adventure. And these people that you will attract, they are kind of, how to say, hot-headed people, you know? Like, they are not afraid of being in a place where there is no honor, there is no money, there is nothing but risk, okay? And this is actually a good time. This is a moment where you attract the most interesting people, that's the people who are really in fond of what you're doing. When we started the family at the very beginning, the first people who came and who trust us, they were these hot-headed people. And now you're getting more, once you have a kind of product and people know you and you have some legitimacy, like maybe 1 year, it can happen very differently according to your startup. It can be within 3 months, within 6 months, within 1 year, it depends. But once you get some hype, once you get some media coverage, you attract different people. You attract people who are interested because you are already legit. And it's actually a danger. So the first phase you're in is the best phase, because the people that you can convince are the people who are not attracted by honors, money, and they are really, they are supposed to, if they trust, if they bet with you, it means that they are totally aligned with your mission. That's what you're looking for. They have this hacker mindset meaning like it's not a matter of being able to code or not, actually. It's a matter of being able to remix and to find your own path when there is no way to go. Meaning like it's never obvious the thing that you have to do in a startup. This is the first important thing to know. There is not a to-do list, okay? So the thing is that all the people who are in the team, they have to create this to-do list. They have to search for the things to do. Nothing is written. Everything is to be discovered. And that's actually also the best moment to start a company, because it's almost like you don't have a lot of things to do. It's really like scaring, because you're in front of freedom, okay? You could go anywhere, but you have to start from a point. But there are so many ways to start from, so many things to do. If you don't get scared, then you start. And you start trying, testing, and the people you want to be surrounded by are these people who can start something like that, test something, see if it works. If it works, come back with the result and say, look, I've discovered this, we should go there. Okay? So you need to have this kind of people. You don't need to have what I call ships, you know, people who will just follow. Not at the beginning. At the beginning, you need to have really confident people who are not afraid of testing and trying things. And the people who just follow and execute at the very beginning are not the one you want. Because you need to be, as you don't have the solution, you're looking for the business model, you're searching for it. So you need people who will who disagree with you, who destabilized you, who will argue with you, okay? So this is really important. Find people who are not okay with all what you think. And of course, people who see long term, okay? They don't jump into the adventures, they don't join you just like for the next 3 months because they are free and because they are waiting for the next job that will hire them. No, because you want people to be on the long term and involved, yes, thank you, with you. But this, sometimes it's wrong, because actually, sometimes you want to seduce super fucking high-level people, and most of the time it's with engineers, and they have tons of plans and very exciting things to do, and you're here with nothing but your vision, and you want them to be with you because you know they're the one to work with you. Then you can say, yeah, come, just try, just see. And for the beginning, as a try, just as a seduction way. And the engineer will come, we'll see, we'll try, we'll start working with you, and then it has to become in love and to be aligned with you on the long run, okay? But if from day one they are not totally aligned with the vision, that's not a no-go, that's what I mean. So, to rule your startup, to make your team a badass team and a team that will follow you to the end, there are two main pillars of what we call the management, even if it's not management. But anyway, I use this word because you get it. It's freedom and cult. Nothing more, nothing less. Freedom and cult. And everything that you design in your process, in your organization, in the task you give, in the way you exchange, it's based on these two pillars, freedom and cult. And this goes with the profile that you want in your team. You need to provide a lot of space to these hot-headed people, because if they are in charge, if they want to try things, they want to test things, they want to discover new possibilities, they need freedom. But in the meantime, if you want them to follow the mission and to be efficient, then you have to provide them with some types of rules which are actually in the cult. You know, sometimes people say, yeah, the family is run like a sect. It's what is this new religion? Like when you enter, there is this bird like that, and what is this house? And you always pretend you're radical, and you write the thing you believe in on your wall, and blah blah. And my co-founders, they get pissed off. Tell me, they say we look like a sect, but me, in the back of my mind, I'm super happy, actually. But I don't say it. But I'm super happy. Yes, there is some kind of thing like that. It's a cult. We believe in things in common, and they are all transparent, and everybody in the team knows what are our beliefs. It's from day one, they can read it, and you have to admit it, actually. You have to be totally cool with this. You run a cult, and this cult has to be given to your team, and we will go through this afterwards. So freedom and cult are the two main things I want to go through all along this presentation. So we'll be talking about the founders, because of course a team, it's also the founders first, and then we'll be talking most of the time about the employees. So hiring, firing, paying, managing, and sizing opportunities. If you have any question all along, ask me your question. So the founders. How do you choose your founders? How do you choose your co-founders? The one you will start this project with. And even if in this room you already have your co-founders, check if all the things that I'm gonna give you are, yeah, what you say? True. Thank you. Yes, give me the English word when I'm lacking the vocabulary, because... Okay. So, of course, the first thing is to share the same vision. So what does it mean? It means that you, even if you're totally different, with totally different background, you agree on the main struggle, the main fight you're here for. It's not something obvious all the time. Huh? Not everybody is passionate about something obvious, but there is an intimate battle that you fight for, and it's the same, actually, that your co-founder share. And here it's really, it's not something that you can see from day one in your co-founding team. Huh? It's not something that you meet the person, you say hello, you ask what he does or what she do, and you understand exactly, okay, we share the same vision. No, it takes a lot of time, experience together, comprehension, spending random time, you know, going to having coffees, going to holidays together, and then step by step you realize. So it's like, it's almost like finding your house, your wife or your husband. Actually, it's really talking about the deep thing that make you happy or give you the drive every morning when you wake up. So when you see, for instance, I take this startup that I love at TheFamily called Agricool. Agricool, they want to revolutionize the agricultural world, okay? So there are two sons of farmers, and they had to study in the city, and they had to eat food and fruits and vegetables, and they thought like, okay, it's awful, the taste, there is no more taste in this fruit and vegetables. They had the good memories of grandpa and grandma cultivating the things in the field, and they were really pissed off about it. But it's really, here this example is obvious. The guys share the same background. They are two sons of farmers. They don't come from the same part of France, but still, they have this struggle and this fight in common, and it's rooted in their family, in the back of their. It's an heritage. Heritage, yeah. It's like AfroStream. You know AfroStream, the Netflix for Afro-Caribbean movies. Okay, the CEO and the CTO, they share the same fight for representing more the community, both of them. And this kind of startup, it's obvious. If you take TheFamily, for instance, you see Oussama, Nicolas, and me. We don't look at the beginning from a first vision. Seems to be and to fight for the same thing. I mean, Nicolas comes from Britain. He studied at l'ENA, the School for President. He's an engineer. His parents were teachers. Oussama is a Lebanese. He immigrated in France. He was 12. He lived in Tours. His mom was a cleaning lady, and me, my dad is a doctor, psychiatrist. He's a Moroccan, and I don't know. If you look into at the first glance, you don't think, wow, what do they have in common? And most of the time, the people tell me, how did you meet these people? You don't look at all the same. Do you share the same vision with this guy, seriously? Yeah, totally and definitely. And actually, it was obvious. Like when I met Oussama for the first time, I knew I had something to share with this guy. And actually, I ran for him, and I struggled, and I really fight to have this guy in my team. He didn't want me. He rejected me like 10 times before saying yes. I can follow you, Alice. It was a long fight, but I knew this guy. We had to share something in common. And actually, once you know, I mean, you never know really. It's like your wife or your husband. You never know, is it the good one or is she the good one? It's always a question. So you have to talk about the real problem and the real topic. And you, in this room, you have to come and see your co-founders and ask this question, for instance. If within 2 years, there is Google or Facebook that comes and say, 1 billion for your company, what do you do? What do we do? where do we want to go? What is your relationship with money, with power, with all these kind of big things that actually help you see if you are aligned or not. Like many people after 6 and 1 year came to see either Nicola and Usama and proposing them tons of money to do super great fucking jobs in Silicon Valley, in Paris, top level jobs. They refused. And this is part of the conversation you need to have. It's not a problem if you want to sell the startup within 1 year for 1 billion. It's okay. I mean, but at least talk about it. 1 billion, 500 million. Talk about this, really. You have to do this exercise. So vision, love, of course. You have to love your co-founders. It's like you want to spend holidays, you want to go out off-site with them. Actually, my best moments are when I share a restaurant or a dinner with my co-founders. And this is super important. Why? Because 80% of your time will be with your co-founder and your team. And most of this time will be during bad moment when you doubt, moment when there is nothing, there is no client, there is no investors, there is nobody who trusts you. So if you don't have a good moment and you can laugh and be happy to be with your co-founders, that's dead. And that's why the first reason why people startup fail, it's because of this. It's because actually at the end, they don't really like each other. And you already know. Sometimes we try to convince ourselves, like, yeah, my co-founder, great guy, so good CTO, yeah, so good. But in the back of your mind, you know that there are some things that you don't really like to spend time with him or her. You are happy to go out and to join your own friends and your own family. This is a bad sign. This is a really bad sign, and take it seriously, because it will go worse by the time. And third thing, when you find your co-founders, it's the skills. It's not the first thing. Huh? I've put it in order. The third thing is skills, meaning like even if you are not complementary, even if they don't have crazy skills, but you have the first two things, then it's okay. But the best is when, of course, you are amazing at selling, doing business, and he or her is extraordinary at coding or designing. But that's not a no-go. This just makes it easy to split. You do that, I do that. And this is one of the most important things at the beginning. It's not to be working on the same things. And, talking about CEO and who is the CEO, the CMO, the CTO, blah, blah. Most of the time, you will decide by the skills, but that's wrong. Actually, the CEO is the one in the co-founding team that you trust the most to have the last word and to take the decision, to make the decision. So it's a really important conversation you need to have. Many startups come to the family and say, no, that's okay, we're a bunch of friends. There is no need to say who is the chief, who is the lead, who is the CEO at the end. That's super bad, super, super bad. So you really need to say, okay, there is one in our co-founding team that is actually leading the way. And at the end of the day, we trust this person to finally make a choice. Take this seriously. And talk about this also from day one. This needs to be obvious. If there is a problem with this, it means that there will be a problem later, an ego problem. That's the ego thing. So how do you choose the one that will be the CEO, that will run the company? Either it's obvious, either it needs some discussion. But if it needs some discussion like, I want, then it's dead. In the case of the family, definitely, it was my first time company, so I didn't even know that you had to choose who is the lead. I just wanted to start something with these two guys because I knew that we were aligned and that we could do something great. And actually, it's these guys who told me, Alice, you're going to be the CEO. Why? Because we trust you first, for sure, and we want you to have the last word on everything. Because we don't want to give a fuck about management. This is totally not our thing. We don't want to have to take care of building a team. We just want to do the thing that we like to do, we love to do. So Usama is a teacher, he's on stage, he's doing a show business, and he's also the strategy guy, okay? The guy who is directly linked with the startup on the strategy. And Nicolas is the guy who writes and who write a lot of articles and papers and books to be read by the intelligentsia in France and abroad, so we can really start democratizing the startup world. So that's our thing as a family. That's the mission, huh? To provide an infrastructure that will be good for the startup here in France, but also abroad now. Okay, so they do the things they love, but I have the responsibilities. So the CEO is the one that will have the last word on everything. So it's the one that everybody trusts, and the one that will care about all the dirty little stuff also. Okay, so at the end of the day, I'm here with the responsibilities on my shoulders. And the CEO is the one that won't sleep at night. The CEO is the one who is really fucking super responsible. So if the people are not paid at the end of the month, that's the fault of the CEO. Okay? So the CEO needs to be, stress. No, you can endure stress. You see what I mean? You can bear the pressure. And it's not easy at all, and it's something that you learn by the time.
Just a question, Alice. Imagine, you said Usama was in charge of the strategy, right? And imagine that you don't agree with him on the strategy stuff. He will have the last word?
Yeah, so the question is, like, if Usama is in charge of the strategy, but you disagree with him, at the end, you will have the last word on the strategy. So the thing is that it's a struggle all the time, it's a discussion all the time. So I will listen to him. And I trust him for being competent and good when it comes to strategy things, okay? And if I disagree, it's because there is something in terms of the DNA of the family, and I'm the gatekeeper of the DNA of the family, that is not good in this, and I can explain. And then we will have a kind of dialogue. And at the end of this dialogue, I mean, it never happened that I had a real proper fight with my co-founders. Sometimes I just yell at him, but I have no problem with this, you know. He yelled at me, and it's the best way to make fireworks. And then to have a kind of it's never a compromise. Huh? We never try to say, okay, let's find a solution that will please both you and I. It's not possible. It's, if we go this way, this is what's going to happen. You want to go this way, let's try, you will see. But I would go that way, because this is how it's going to happen. And sometimes I say, okay, let's go your way, you will see what's happened. And if he's right, I shut my mouth. But, I mean, I'm not stupid. I will never say no, radically. It always needs a discussion. And if you see that DNA is not respected, then it will go with me. But we fight all the time, but good fights. It's a positive fight. So, if you have any question about the co-founding team and who does what, and how do you, if you have some trouble to admit that you're the CEO or that the other is the CEO, this should open a box, a light in your brain, and you know that there is a kind of problem here. So now let's go to this part of the workshop, which is hiring the employees. The first employees in a startup, which are key people, okay? So, how do you hire people? How do you find them? How do you get them involved in your to follow your mission and your dream? And the first thing is you have to trust your instincts, because as you have nothing, as you have no article, no one knows you, so nobody will first come to you. You have to go and to chase. So that's the first thing also, because I haven't written it, but you have to chase. So the best place to chase, actually, it's here. It's also in hackathon. It's in any kind of meetup, gathering. But just one thing, pay attention to all these kind of open events, blah, blah. Because it's also where you find the people who don't know what to do and who are not focused at all and who are super happy to be part of but not to do things. And actually, you can find people here, why not? But pay attention, because especially in this ecosystem, especially in the startup world, because it's getting more and more attention and because everybody is looking for a meaning. Huh? Everybody wants to start their own business or turn around the world. I mean, you have two options when you're looking for a meaning. Huh? So basically, pay attention, because you will find people who maybe are just lost and want to, just get a flavor of. You need really focused people. Huh? You need people who are like warriors. So trust your instincts. When you meet someone and you're thinking of hiring him or her, you have to feel like in the first conversation phase, if there is a doubt, if there is something that you don't feel, then it's dead. One doubt, no doubt. This is a rule. This thing is really based. It's not like you judging on the face. I wouldn't say that. It's judging on your feeling. Like, how do you feel when you are next to the person, and what would you trust this person? Do you like this person? Do you feel that you can raise, make him grow, and if you don't, then there is no way to keep on with the person. So the funny thing is that people often, I mean, the startup I see at TheFamily, all the time they use their gut feelings for judging business. So they will say, no, I think we'd better do this way because I've seen there is just a startup, and they really have this kind of instinct way of thinking on business and not on people. On people, they will read the curriculum vitae and they will, oh yes, he's been through this crazy school, this is a good thing, then I check all the box. And it's actually totally the contrary. You should be super fucking rational on the business. Which startup have been doing what, I have this information on the market, I've tested this and this and that, out of my 1,000 email, 500 answered, this amount, okay, it's data driven. On the business, you have to be data driven. On the people, it's gut feelings, okay? You have to trust your instinct. And of course, go fast. Go fast, why? Because there is no way to do a 3-month interview or even a 1-month interview, going back and forth, meeting everybody. No. You're 3 in the team, maybe 2. You need someone. Just go fast. Go fast, start with the person, try the person, test the person. And in this, when you hire someone, there are 3 phases. The first phase is, I call it submersive. So the person is totally, there are too many things to understand at first sight, like understanding the market, understanding the culture, understanding everything, okay? This is the first phase. And you need to give and to provide tons of information, and I will give you some tips about it, on how you rule, what do you want to do, which market are you in, what information do you have, list all the articles that are really important for you, make him read every single articles, everything that you believe in, etc. Second phase is, okay, now this employee he is okay with the culture and with the environment, and he will take care of every tools and understand what you need and be efficient. And the third step is this person will be proposing new things to do, okay? will be able to come with new ideas. These are the 3 stages of testing the person. And for some people, it will go in 1 month. For some people, it will go in 6 months. It's super hard to say. And this is part of your job to make this happen. So, I mean, for me, hiring people is really about, it's feeling this person at the first sight. So you can ask anyone at the family when they get this first interview. It was like a psychiatrist asking all the questions: what your dad did, where did you come from, who were you in the kindergarten, were you the leader, or all types of questions. Do you have a lover? What does she or he do? All types of questions. I really want to understand the person and to get a flavor of him or her. And it's all type of people. So in terms of background, it's your style. Okay, so regarding the type of person you are as a founder, you have to hire the people that are kind of look alike. And what is funny in the family, for instance, is that we have this kind of radicality that we assume that we refuse the money from the state, you have to be ambitious, all this kind of way of doing things, because we think that's the way the startup will actually grow faster if we are this kind of radical. So in the team, you will find the same kind of radicality. You will have either the polytechnician, or the guy from nowhere who didn't even finish high school. Okay, the mindset of your startup, of the person, of you, of the founder needs to be also in the way you recruit and the profile that you recruit in your startup. So go fast, because you will have to test. You can never say if the person fits or not. It's impossible. So. Of course, you can never say, and you can never say, because if I take the different type of people that you need, if you need a business developer, for instance, they are the best to sell their mother, okay? Yeah, of course, I'm good. Yes, Alice. I mean, I've seen so many business guys, they knew by heart all the little sentences that we write on the wall, like partying is a serious matter, blah, blah. So, I mean, they seduce, and they are good, and, you know, and there is one box that needs to be also open in your mind. It's when someone, during an interview, is too sugar, how do you say? Sugar-coated. Thank you. Exactly. Mielleux. No, sweet. No, it means some sweet talker. Thank you, sweet talker. It's like it's kind of faking something. Yeah, it's too good to be true, and it means that you want people who might not know everything about your startup. That's okay. I mean, but they are good for the job, and they are why? Why I'm telling you this? Because it's really important, and that's something that you all need to keep in mind. That in a startup team, people need to make a big difference between the ego thing and the fucking execution. You see, we are in a house, it's beautiful, it's cool, there is a cat sometime, and there are trees and blah, blah. And in every startup place, it's like that. You have the fat boys, you know, that's the big chairs. You have this kind of cool, open fruits and vegetables and everything that you want, Coca-Cola. Okay, that's the type of environment you're in, right? And it is attracting many people who say, yeah, I don't want to go to La Défense, I don't want a badge, I don't want this life. But why don't you want this life? Because this life is also cool for many things. You get a lot of money, you get holidays. At 6, you're in your house, or you're with your friends. And so Why don't you want this life? And why would you go for a life where you have no more life, basically? It's a big sacrifice. Huh? And I told you, you don't sleep at night. That's the case for me. I'm the CEO, but many people in this team don't sleep at night. Many employees in the startup team, they don't sleep at night because you're afraid. Once you jump, there is nothing. You have freedom in front of you, but you also have a no-handing thing. So why the people want to join? If they want to join for just the cool thing of it, for the ego thing of it, for saying as their friend that they are in a startup and that's cool and they do growth hacking, this is super bad. And you can feel that in an interview. You can feel that with this sweet talking, because people you want in a startup, they are kind of crazy. They are between the extraordinarious and the totally stupid. You know, that's exactly this kind of people. Sometimes you feel like, is he crazy or is she crazy? Or no, she's extraordinary. But you never know, because actually there's no definition. It's like when I met Usama for the first time, the guy, he had been kicked out of his own startup. He spent like 6 months in Silicon Valley. He was totally depressed. And he had enemies, tons of enemies, because he fucked his previous startup. And people had invested in it. It's like not little money, it's like 3 million. So when I knew this guy, but sometimes I was afraid, like, maybe he's totally crazy. No, maybe he's super good. And many people came to me and say, you're crazy to be with this guy. This guy is an absolute danger. You don't know, he made these people lose money. You know, people are suing him. And me, it's my first time company, and I don't know, I have a kind of crush. But do I have to follow this? Okay, so you are always wondering if this person is good or bad, but at least this person is not here for the hype of it. This person is crazy enough to dedicate his or her life to the purpose of the mission. So make a big difference between ego thing and execution. And execution is the only thing that is important and that matter in a team. And all your culture and all the integration in your team must be through execution. And I have trouble at TheFamily, because sometimes, you know, the new people, they come and they feel like it's so cool, and they don't get it. As long as you haven't done super good thing, I won't be your friend. And this should be clear with you also. Okay, so if you're hiring an engineer, make sure these people, they are like, I mean, most of the time, it's not a cliche, they are shy. They are not extroverts. They are not extroverts. So you need to create some kind of trust. And actually, at TheFamily, it's our guy, Jill, who is one of the partners, who take care of them. And I won't judge. So I won't be even here at the interview, because I trust totally him to hire the people and to test these people, because I don't have the competencies on it. And there is one thing also that you need to make sure, and this is a really important rule, is that everything you hire the people for, you need to have done it before. Never hire someone to do something you're not able to do on your own. It's stupid. For engineers, for instance, I'm happy to have Jill, okay? So he cares for hiring the engineers. But every other thing, you have done it. Otherwise, again, it's dead. There is no way it can be an employee, an intern, or someone who has a lot of experience. If you haven't done it by yourself, you cannot expect him or her to do it better. Tell me. Sometimes you're stuck. When? No, you as a CEO. You as a CEO, if you are not able to have done it, maybe not the best way, but you have done it, what do you have to do? You have to sell, you have to build the product, you have to raise funds, all these kind of things. Everything of this, even if it's the very beginning, you have started it. See? But true, depends on your expectation, depends on the level of the person in front of you. Is it an intern? It's a young person, a 2 years experience or 10 years experience? And this will be totally different interviews. So the young, it's an intern. Check the mindset. Check the mindset, test. It's okay. Don't lose time. The 2 years experience, but maybe the intern or the 2 years experience, come what may, the young, you'd rather have him or her like the last internship to be able to join you afterwards, because that's an investment. And these kind of people, you're actually investing so that they can keep and being in your team for the long run. And like the first 3 months, you or anyone in the team that you really trust for being good is sit down every day with the person. And my bad, huh? Sometimes it's impossible to do. Sometimes we don't have the time. That's too bad. That's too bad, and that's you're losing your investment. The first 3 months, this person needs to be with you. You provide all the articles, the mindset, the references of your market and your startup, and then you see how fast he or she grows. But you need to create this kind of this curve. And what is the most important when you hire these people is to see the motivation. Motivation is more important than competences. Why? Because motivation will make this curve grow faster. Rather, if you take someone who has tons of competencies but a motivation, okay, so, the curve of a learning curve won't go like that. Sometimes you take people, they have really no experience, they are super bad. I mean, not super bad, but they have really no experience. But you see that they will, what you're offering them is a fucking big opportunity. This motivation can create extraordinary people. And also, something very important for you, people who will be reliable, because they will be here all along the way. And sometimes you take opportunistic people because they're super skilled and they have a lot of clients already, or they have tons of good contacts. But you know, for them, you're nothing more. You know, you're just a cool place to go through, to go to another place. So in that kind of way, you're kind of, in that moment, you can be opportunistic. But this is not in the first phase. In the first phase, you need these people that, for whom it's an opportunity to come and to join your startup, because you're offering either a meaning, either a way to learn, anything that can really change their life. Okay, so this book is something that you have to read if you want to know everything about it. It's well explained, it's very structured, and it's kind of the Bible. I will send you the slides. Okay. You want to see? Sorry. Yeah. Do you have any question on the hiring? Because there are many things to talk about when you hire someone during the interview. The questions. How much you pay? I repeat the question. What kind of compensation you give?
Okay. Yeah, do you go on the lower end when you're going to pay them, or are you going to, what do you provision for people you're going to hire?
I'm super transparent, super flexible. It's always a discussion. I mean, that's my way, but you can have your own way. But the way we choose is like, okay, this is the kind of money that we can offer you. It's always above the market. And this is, I will go through it in the paying part. And is it okay with you? Is it not okay with you? Yes, why? And I'm open with it. It doesn't have to be a problem. You talk about everything. You talk. I mean, first you try to understand the person, then you talk about the job, and you talk about the money. Of course, that's part of it. Okay, so if you hire fast, you fire fast. That's a rule. Okay. This is hard, and this is not something we're used to here. It's not something that that's easy. It's not. It's something that actually can. This is the hardest part for me as a CEO. But it's part of the job, and actually, if you don't do that, you don't respect your team. You have to fire because you felt that the person is not good enough. In either it's a problem of motivation, either it's a problem of execution. There is a problem. You know it. You feel it. You have to be aware of it. And once you know it's not good, I don't know. And a typical example. It's the third time I've given you this task to do. It's not done. It's not even that just it's not done. It's the why it's not done is not acceptable for me. Okay? So the third time it happened like that, then you have to cut. And this part is not easy. And when you do it, this is my tip. You can have yours, but this is something that I love to do because actually it's always been a good moment. Maybe once it's been bad, but otherwise it's been a good moment. So 3 steps. It's during a discussion, you feel the person is not good. Okay, let's go have a coffee. You want to still understand why is it not going no well? Why is it such a nightmare to work together? Respect the ego. First rule. Meaning like, if you want, well, now I will tell this to YouTube, it won't be a secret any longer, but let's say it's our secret. It's not like we are Madonna. Respect the ego, it means like, I always tell this story. Look, it doesn't work. It's not good for this and this reason. But I know you're good in other way, you can be good in other way. So what I want to tell as a story is that you decide to leave. It's not me who fire you. This is my way to make the person respect the ego. Why? Because it's such a small ecosystem. If this person want to have another job, then the person will call me, why did you fire him or her? No, I didn't. And how to say, at the end it's almost the truth. Because I realize before him or her that it doesn't go well and it will bad for him or her. And most of the time it's a problem of courage. When you see it's not good, you have to leave when you're an employee. You see it's not good. But in this world, yeah, it's hard to find a job, and there is also this kind of security thing. And if you stay in a job for a security thing, it's not in a startup that you have to stay. So respect the ego offers this proposal of, it's not me who fire you, it's you who choose. Just a way to tell the story. It's important for the person. 2, if this person is good, you have to recommend him or her. And what happened at TheFamily is that most of the time, this person, they were good. Come what may, they were good. So yes, of course, I recommend, and I recommend the day after it's done. And 3, offer money. Like, at least 2 or 3 months, so that the person can be at ease during this period of time to find another thing. 2, if you have to fire people with who has been bad because the person are not good, I mean in terms of mentality, it happens. It can happen, of course. You did a big mistake. You hire someone that was a bad person. I remember this person like, she was recommended because she came from, she used to work in like the best place for startup in Silicon Valley. She knew everyone. She had the best network ever, and she was traveling to Paris, and she fell in love with the family, and she was looking for a job. She seemed to have a lot of skills, so I said, actually, no. Usama said, yeah, let's go, woo! And I was like, but she looks snobbish. I don't know, I feel like there is something not good. But anyway, and it was a super nightmare. Like all along the way, she didn't get the culture of the family, how we work, and it's been super bad. And I even had a fight with her. Like, so it lasts 2 months. Huh? And I really realized there was a problem when I started working with her on a big conference we did on disruption luxury, disruption in the luxury industry. And she pretended she knew about luxury. Anyway, so it took me like one day to do this meeting and say, okay, let's go, let's cut. And it was obvious, you know, she wanted to leave also, but it was my mistake at the end of the day. I knew, if I knew that she was, if I didn't felt it, I should have said no. No, we don't take her. Because after the backlashes of having her in your team, it's like poison. Because she does things that won't work. She does things, and everybody else, because you're not here all the time, so all the other people, they see that she's doing shit. And it's bad for the how to say, for the mission of your startup. Like, your people won't feel proud to be part of a team where someone is doing things like that. Okay, so paying, I told you about it. You're in the startup, it's already a big sacrifice. It's not something like that's cool, that's easy. So you have to pay more, to pay above the market, because like there is something even more in this ecosystem, like people are kind of proud to say, yeah, I don't pay myself, you know, I'm out of money every month, it's like low. That's not good. That's really not good. So, of course, it depends on your situation. Maybe you haven't raised funds. Maybe you're not making money. Okay, but your employee, try to take care of them. And if you can pay them more, pay them more. And you'd better pay them more than the average and not pay you than paying you. Why? Because you ask them for the impossible. And you need to have them aligned together in the success of your startup. Okay. So usually what we do is 10% above the market rate. It's easy to get a market rate and you put 10% above. Okay. Now you have your team. You hired them. You have a co-founding team. They are great. How do you create this cult? So there are four things that I love to talk about, some rules. One, try to do this exercise. Write the manifesto. It's not something that you have to put on your website, on your landing page. It's something that you have to write with your co-founders. If you had to write kind of a poem or a rap music, do it the way you want to do it, to explain how do you rule your startup? What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? All is on the wall here. They are all believe, like, we think the youth is teaching the old now with the revolution of the digital. Everything is written there. Everybody who comes to the family have to know it, not by heart, of course. This is something important. Explain the habits and style. I don't know, like even stupid thing. In the morning when the people come, do you bring all the time some croissant? I forbid something at the family. I say, you don't... It's a rule that came after. I hate when people do kiss in the morning. Like, it can be stupid, but every time I see people going table to table, kiss, like, I don't know how to explain it, but for me it was like, you know, it reminded me of, like, you have time to lose. I mean, you say, hey, it's cool. You talk to each other on Slack. Every time you send heart, but you don't do kiss. I don't know. It might be super stupid. That's part of the rule at the family. If I see someone doing kiss, I think that there is a kind of problem. Create an onboarding process. And I will show you ours. There are many tools to do it, and this is part of this first moment of submersion. So accept that your people will lose time, will spend time not being efficient from day one. That's normal. And care for the decoration. Do it your style. I think it's really important to feel at ease at home, because that's almost your home, because you don't have any more life, in a way. You don't have other life. So that's why, and that's the reason why startup things are so cool. It's not because they want to be cool, it's because otherwise we wouldn't survive, because this is the place we live. So that's another way to see it. So what we use is Trello as the onboarding tool. Huh? So basically, when anyone comes, he has an explanation of what are the tools that we use. We start by the tools. Okay, that's a rule by design. Also, you start with execution. You get you're accepted in the family because you execute. You should be accepted in any startup because you execute well first, rather than just being cool and being nice. So you start with the tools, you start with the concrete. So you explain these tools, you explain why do you use these tools. And actually, this is just the beginning, because we started this 2 months ago, but I really want to go further in this, because we have a problem with Slack. I love Slack. I really recommend you to use Slack. That's a way to kill emails. And to have the information organized like a flow, yeah, like a flow, and at the end of the day, everybody can have access to every room regarding every topics, and that's the best way to still be informed and not do stupid meeting to exchange information. But this I will go through after. But Slack is really a tool that we're not using 1% at the family, and that we should be using better. That's the best way to create your culture. And I'm afraid to see, because, I'm pretending the way I run the family is the best way. It's not the best way, and I see the problems, and there are problems every time and every day. And last time I was with the partners looking at the statistic of Slack, and I was looking at Usama, I, and some of the partners, we are like 95% on the open rooms talking, and all the other employees, 95% of their exchange are one-to-one. So it's not because you use Slack that you're more open, because people repeat the same bad habits of keeping the information to one-to-one. Why do we use this one-to-one way of talking together? Because we are afraid to show to the other when we have questions, when we have doubt. What do you want exactly? Are you okay with this? All the discussion should be in the open room. And I love it when someone proposes something and then someone disagree, and then or sometimes I clash with Usama on just the general room that everybody can read. And that's the best way to do education. Because your job as a founder of a startup will be to educate the people all the time. All the time. And it means the tools I'm going to show you, these onboarding things, but it's also about repeating every day, all the little details. Repeating every day, because it's like that you educate even like a child. No, don't touch the fire. And you have to repeat it until, because it's not obvious. You're creating a new culture. So you have to repeat it all the time. So this is a onboarding, so people go through the tools, they know how we work, they go through the organization. So there is no meeting at the family except one on that lasts half an hour. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm looking like at the watch, it's been 1 hour and a half. If you have to leave, feel free not to be ashamed. I'm okay with it. I'm lasting longer. So organization, team meeting on Wednesday morning, half an hour, no more. It's what I call stand-up. You don't need meetings to talk about the thing you will do. When you meet, you do at the same time. You work together, but you don't gather to think of how. This is only for co-founders meeting, and it shouldn't happen more than once every 2 weeks. Maximum, because you're supposed to talk every day, every time with your co-founders. By text, what do you think about that? I'm thinking about it. It's almost like you're in the brain of the other. And you exchange all the time with your co-founders. You don't need to set a meeting to think about what we're going to do. This is not the way we do things. When you gather, you do. But sometimes you need to, and for me, the vision I have of the meeting are here to provide the energy. Okay? So on Wednesday morning, half an hour here, what about this week? Your vision shouldn't be 3 months ahead. In a startup, the things that you are checking, it's supposed to be every week, and it's supposed to be one data. That's the way we work with the best startups. The best startup at TheFamily, they provide us one data every week, and they try to optimize this data. And this way of focusing on week is a very good way, actually. And so every morning, every Wednesday morning here, stand up, the co-founders, the team. Okay, what have been done last week? What will be super great this week? Talking about it, talking about the problems, talking about the cut if there is no problems. Anyway, this is the flavor of the week. And like that, you can free the mind of the people in your team because they can think this week, I have to focus on this week, and I can create things because not everything is prepared. So the next week it can be totally something different. So you put the people in a mood so that they can be creative, because it's so short time that they can move. So team meeting, open. Okay. So this is the way they can. Anyone who comes to the family for the first time, they have a full access to the tools. Where do you have to go, at which meeting, for what, the philosophy. So they read this memorandum, which is super long. It's like 200 pages, but they have to read it like a novel. And okay, come to see the people. If you go to see Usama, talk to him about this. If you go to see Nicolas, come to see, and everybody is listed. Okay, so this is part of the job when we're talking about a team, and it's really something important to do. If you have any question, please raise your hand. Don't feel shy. Okay, care for the decoration, do it your own style, make it cool. So this is what I explain you. Kill emails for your team. If you chat with your people, don't go into a mailbox. If there is any external people, yes, of course. Kill meetings, make it really like oriented on doing things. Kill PDF. Don't send people, comment on dit, pièces jointes. Attached files. Don't send attached files. It's super boring. But try to avoid big text. Make it colorful. Make it simple. Make it. Anyone can see here the rules on the wall. And this is part of the education. I think it's the last one. No. But that's almost the last one. You, as a founder, have to be available. That's your job. So this is a part of the most painful things, but painful and joyful also, because it's part of the life of your team. And that's why Usama and Nicolas didn't want it to be the CEO, basically. It's always be aware of the problems in your team, have time to chit-chat, to make them talk, and to have this kind of random moment, just moment where we are not gathered to work, but we are gathered to have pleasure. And you know, when we say partying is a serious matter, I really mean it. You cannot know how much party and this moment of, I don't know, dancing or doing anything that is not related to work, will accelerate the knowledge you have on the people and the trust and build something. There is a girl at the family called Alexia, and she always, she's the one who seduced the godfathers, the people to come and to invest in the family. And she always came to me and say, Alice, this guy, he will invest because I did a party in Ibiza with him. And for sure, because of course you create something different, you know, with the person when you have this kind of moment. But and with your team, it's exactly the same. And if you really care, I mean, care is something important. Caring for your team, caring for your people. Last time, like a month ago, no, 2 weeks ago, we did something. It's been a long time. We haven't spent a real good moment as employees in the team. So we were doing a Christmas dinner, and for the first time, I realized that it's been too long since we hadn't have this moment. So we did this kind of super cute game of writing words for another person, okay, saying cool things. And I saw so much like pressure, people feeling good. It was surprisingly bigger than what I had expected in terms of atmosphere, in terms of intensity. And I felt like, okay, it's been too long since I have organized something like this. And this is the thing that will make your people feel happy, feel confident in the team. Because in this kind of environment, where you want your people to give the best, to sacrifice tons of their time. You know, you put so much pressure, even if it's cool because the environment is good and everything. It's super hard on the long run, and you need to have this moment of total release to make it bearable. In a way. So it's not only because parties and care is cool, it's because it's something we need to keep on being creative and being open and being aware and being innovative. And you always feel like when it smells bad, you always feel it. Here at the family, I have someone who is in charge actually of the happiness. His name is Ari, he's the chief of happiness. And the guy is like, his job basically is to install the chair, repair the lamp, and it's kind of manager of the house. But it's really much more profound than this. His job is actually to replace any kind of stupid welcoming desk person to say, well, what are you looking for? No, there is not this. So he sees the people coming. He go, hey, how are you? With who you have an appointment? Oh, okay. He will Slack the person of the team, and he will offer a coffee, and he will talk during a certain moment of time, and the people will feel at ease. And I always take 5 minutes to be late because I know Ari is taking care of my meeting. And so then I meet the person, and the person is feeling good. And it does the same thing with the people in the team. Every time going to see the person, how are you? How do you feel? And you get all the little secrets of everybody. And every time I take Ari, and I say, okay, Ari, tell me. This is when I don't have the time to have the secret directly. And people now know they don't feel comfortable to tell me all the secrets, and it's like that. Now we are 40, so be paranoiac. So this is you're never too paranoiac, and it's how to explain, to give you an image. You don't want to let it go too far until it's too late, and it's always too late once you've seen that there is a big shit that happened. You feel but you don't want to see it when it's bad. You have some employees that are not that good, but that's okay. No, there is something bad, and you need to check it, and you need to make either it's better, either it's done. I remember, at the family we do this kind of dinners for the fellowship, for the startup every month. And it's really important. Dinner, Thursday dinner, once a month. And I had a guy, and he was in charge. He was in charge of this dinner. And he didn't make the difference between the ego and the cool. And he was super cool. Everybody likes him. Like he was playing, talking with a lot of jokes and confidence, and everybody likes him. But the guy wasn't doing a shit about everything that I was giving to him. So, but everybody was liking him, so I was like, that's okay, I have to tolerate. No, my mistake, I tolerate. And everything that I gave to him, nothing was done. And I was stupid enough to give him something so important as a dinner. One time he fucked up the dinner, we didn't have food. Seriously. It was like super bad. And second time, I don't know what happened, but something as bad as that. And I burst, like it was too late. I was in front of all the startups. I said, no, it's something, it's a moment that is sacré, holy moment. And I totally burst. I came to him, I yelled at him in front of everybody. It was a bad thing, really bad thing. I took him on the street and I said, explain to me, what's the problem? Why don't you do the thing you are supposed to do? It's simple. Alice, I don't give a shit about the dinner. And it's now you tell me, and he was meaning what he was saying. I don't give a shit. It's not cool to do the dinner. Give me something else. But what the fuck? It's the second one. I give you another change, and you explain me the first time you didn't tell me. Anyway. So I felt it, I knew it, and I felt it because the confidence was so high and the jokes were too much and the shit and the work wasn't done, but I accepted it. I should have trusted my paranoia at that moment. And of course, so repeat again and again, explain the scheme of your of thought. I should be able to explain you why we don't kiss at the family. Because kiss remind me too much of these big corporate places where every morning, hey, how are you? And this makes me feel bad, and that's it. And sometimes that's just like that. Okay, no one is irreplaceable, so don't cry. If someone is leaving, that's good. That's okay. That's something, actually, when someone leaves and you didn't want him or her to leave, it's really painful when you invest so much. And can I give you an example? Come what may, this person, if it's been a good moment, if it's been a great experience, if you've built trust with this person is still an investment somewhere else. That's what I mean. Let it be, never go against employers' interests. So don't fight with them. When you feel like there is a problem with an employee, it means that you are the problem. You, not him. Okay? It's the rule all the time. So when you feel like, what, he's asking me for so much money? What, he's asking me for so much freedom? What? No, why am I trying to put him or her in a box he doesn't want to fit in? Can I offer him the box that fits in, that is good for him? Yes, no? But I have to understand the way it could be the most efficient. Otherwise, it will be a bad compromise. And of course, most of the time, you recruit, that's you, as much as you can. Sometimes for interns now, I trust everybody in the team if they want to recruit interns. But if I feel like the intern is not good, I tell it, and that's like that. And the engineers, I trust Jill. Recruit A players only, people who make you feel unsafe, like you feel bad compared to these people. You feel not at the level. You feel like there when they are there. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, don't have your ego at the wrong place when you recruit people. They must teach you. That's the only way. Otherwise, you will keep on having a little B team. Be okay with the people who teach you. Voila, thank you.